Hi, third graders. This is Miss Smith, and our book for self-control this week is Tessie, Tames Her Tongue by Melissa Martin. Hope you like it. Tessie is a talker, morning, noon, and night. Phew, that's a lot of talking. I visited a butterfly house at an observatory yesterday. Wow, I saw a monarch, a tiger swallowtail, a red admiral, an American snout, and a Goliath birdwing. When her family watches a movie, Tessie talks and talks. Popcorn, is it corn that pops? I think it should be called corn pops. Shh, says her brother. We're trying to watch the movie. You're such a blabby gabby. Erg, but I need to tell you that popcorn kernels can pop to 3 feet in the air. I read that fact in a book. Shh, says her father. Let's have some quiet. Tessie, the fast talker, talks when she eats ice cream. Dad, is there such thing as hot dog flavored ice cream? I'd like to try it, but I wouldn't put mustard and onions on it. Maybe I'll invent pizza flavored ice cream. Wow, woo, owie, yowie, brain freeze. Is there a scientific name for an ice cream headache? Gross, hollers her brother. Don't talk with your mouth full. But Tessie doesn't hear him. Every day, Tessie talks on the school bus the whole way to school. She talks to the bus driver, to the kids beside her, in front of her, in back of her, and across the aisle from her. I need to make a science project. What should I do? I once made a volcano out of clay. Red lava made of food coloring, baking soda, and vinegar bubbled out and down the sides. It didn't really explode, but it was messy. At school, Tessie talks as she takes a seat in the classroom. Guess what? I visited a planetarium and took a field trip through the solar system without leaving the Earth. And online, I learned about geology. Did you know that rocks tell a tale by their fossils? Ingenious, sedimentary, and metamorphic are the 3 types of rocks. Hello, class. Let's start today with show and tell, says Mrs. Hardy, the teacher. Who has something to share? Tessie doesn't hear Mrs. Hardy. She keeps yapping and yakking. I saw the cutest meat rats on TV. They communicate with sounds like we do. They purr when they're happy and chatter when they're scared. Everyone, remember to raise your hand before speaking, Mrs. Hardy says. That's the rule in our classroom. It helps everyone listen while one person talks. Tessie raises her hand high into the air. She waves her arm several times. My hand is raised. Look at my hand. Look at my hand. Class, to make sure that everyone has the chance to be heard, we're going to start using a talking stick. We'll take turns passing it around, and you may only talk when you have the stick. When you don't have the stick, it's your job to listen carefully to the person talking. Mrs. Hardy says, everyone will take turns talking. You need to wait your turn, Tessie. Can I please have the talking stick? I want to talk. During recess, Tessie talks and talks. She tells the girls about her heroes. When I grow up, I'm going to be a scientist like Marie Curie. She was a famous chemist. When the girls run away to swing, she jabbers at the boys. I still don't know what to do for a science project. Maybe I can make a name for him. When the boys run away to play soccer, Tessie finds herself all alone. Why did everyone go away, she thinks. After recess, Tessie goes to talk to Mrs. Hardy. I don't know what to do, Tessie says softly. My family tells me to shush. My classmates run away. It makes me sad. Why doesn't anyone want to listen to me? Tessie, you have some fascinating stories to tell, but you need to learn to listen to others as well, says Mrs. Hardy. I know someone who can help you lasso that tongue and open those ears. Huh, says Tessie. You mean I have to tame my tongue? She imagines herself trying to lasso her tongue as if it were a wild stallion. Together, Mrs. Hardy and Tessie visit Mr. Abel, the school counselor, in his office. Mr. Abel says, What's the problem, Tessie? Can you help me, Mr. Abel? I need to tame my tongue. I like to talk about all the things that are in my head, but sometimes, well, maybe I talk too much. Mr. Abel nods. I might be able to help. Let's think about this. What do you think a good listener does? Tessie imagines the times when other people listen to her. I think a good listener pays attention. A good listener looks at the person talking and stays quiet. Very true, says Mr. Abel. Good listeners also keep their mouths closed and relax their tongues. That sounds so hard, Tessie says. Yes, sometimes it can be hard, but you know what? You've been a good listener for me when I've been talking. That shows me you can do it. This makes Tessie feel better. She could be a good listener. But what do I do when my tongue wants to speed off on its own? When your tongue wants to speed off, that's a sign you need to slow down. Sometimes, when I want to slow down, I take 3 deep belly breaths. Do some with me. Together, Tessie and Mr. Abel practice taking 3 deep breaths, slowly in through their noses and slowly out through their mouths. What else could you do to keep your tongue quiet? Mr. Abel says. I could curl my toes 10 times, Tessie says. That would slow me down. Excellent. Mr. Abel hands Tessie a marker. You'll make a plan for taming your tongue and I'll help. He writes, focus on what the person talking is saying. When the person is done talking, ask him or her questions. Imagine squeezing a lemon. Squeeze and let go. Imagine smelling a beautiful flower. Tessie writes, to be a good listener, I will keep my eyes on the person talking, close my mouth, and relax my tongue. To stop my tongue from speeding away, I will take 3 deep belly breaths and curl my toes 10 times. This looks like a good plan, Mr. Abel says. Remember, this will take practice. Come back and see me every Friday and we'll see how you're doing. Tessie can feel her tongue start to dance and prance in her mouth, so she takes 3 deep belly breaths. Air goes in her nose slowly and out through her mouth. Ah, she imagines sniffing a red and white peppermint flower and blowing the petals. Her mouth stays quiet. Tessie tells her parents about the plan to tame her talkative tongue. I'm going to be a tongue tamer. I know you can do it, says her mother. I know you can do it, says her father. I doubt it, says her brother. For the next few weeks, everywhere she goes, Tessie practices the skills that Mr. Abel taught her. At first, it's very hard. She still wants to gab. But Tessie does her best, and day by day, she becomes a better listener. When others talk, she looks into their eyes and pays attention to their words. She waits until they're finished talking and then asks questions about what the speaker was talking about. When it comes time to present her science project, no one is surprised when Tessie does a report on the tongue. She tells her class fun facts about the tongue. Do you know that your tongue has 8 muscles and 3,000 to 10,000 taste buds? Tongues are about 4 inches long, and girls have shorter tongues than boys. And sticking out your tongue at people in North America is rude, but it's a greeting in Tibet. When Tessie goes to see Mr. Abel for their weekly Friday meeting, he says, congratulations. Because you've made progress, you no longer need to visit me every week. Keep practicing those skills. I'm very proud of you for learning how to tame your tongue. Me too. Thanks for helping me, says Tessie. A few days later, Mrs. Hardy talks to Tessie's parents. Tessie is listening more and talking less in the classroom. Her schoolwork is excellent. She is a leader and helps in the classroom. She likes fun facts and tells funny stories that make everyone laugh. I'm proud of her. We're proud of her too, says Tessie's father. We give her 15 minutes of Tessie talk time during dinner and she no longer talks with her mouth full, says her mother. Tessie imagines taming her tongue and doesn't interrupt. The next week, a boy named Tommy joins Mrs. Hardy's class. He talks without the talking stick. I just moved here from Flagstaff, Arizona, which is close to the Grand Canyon. He talks at lunch with his mouth full. He talks so much that the other kids run away from him at recess. Tessie knows how he feels. And when I had my tonsils taken out, I got all the ice cream I could eat. I was the best at the sports at my old school. Hey, where is everyone going? Why does everyone run away? Tommy asks. Why doesn't anyone listen to me? Tessie grins. You know what? I might be able to help. And that's the end of Tessie Tames Her Tongue. I hope you liked it.